I've been thinking, are we born with all the abilities we'll ever have in life? Or can we master skills in areas we're not naturally gifted? Today, we will explore how our mindset determines whether we believe we can change, grow, and learn with the secondhand advice from the book Mindset by Dweck. From the size of your head to the shape of your foot, your body's physical features are more or less entirely predetermined from the beginning. We human beings typically have little control over our body's attributes. What about physical and intellectual abilities like playing baseball, painting, or solving complex math problems? Are they genetic or learned? The majority of scientists say that if you intend to become a concert pianist, you need to have a musical ear and dedicate years of your life to practicing. Still, there are as many solutions to this dilemma as there are people, for our frame of mind plays a critical role in how we view ourselves and others. Basically, our mindset forms our belief in achieving something. These two opposites form the foundation for the concept of fixed versus growth mindset. Those with a fixed mindset believe they are naturally talented at doing certain things, however, entirely incapable of others. In contrast, individuals with a growth mindset think that they can become superstars of anything if they strive hard enough. So, people in the growth mindset group continue expanding their lives, gaining new abilities without reservation, and proactively engaging in their relationships. For them, life in all its elements remains in a continuous state of change. By comparison, people with a fixed mindset often allow their all or nothing thinking to block their evolution. If they fall short of something, they quit or blame others. They hope for eternal love in their relationships rather than working on the relationships themselves. A person's abilities are firmly grounded in a fixed mindset. Individuals with a fixed mindset believe that talent reigns supreme. In their opinion, a person's capabilities are uncompromising from the get-go. A person is, by nature, either intelligent and gifted or incompetent and inexperienced and will remain this way. Additionally, people with a fixed mindset think that they can only do things that they are naturally gifted at and that practice certainly does not make perfect. Considering they are fast to judge themselves and others as being good or bad at something, they assume others evaluate them at all times too. So they feel determined to demonstrate how gifted and intelligent they are at every opportunity. They believe their entire identity is at stake. One mistake could brand them as incapable idiots for life. They regularly look for approval from others to shield their egos and confirm that they really are as wonderful as they think they are. Development and advancement are possible in the growth mindset. When kids with a growth mindset are given a challenging math problem at school, they relish the opportunity and want to answer more questions, even at home. They realize that the more problems they solve, the more they learn. There is no limit when it comes to life's possibilities for children with a growth mindset. It's difficult to specify their exact degree of knowledge today, let alone anticipate what it may be tomorrow. Their grades may reflect their current status at the moment, yet these kids believe that they can learn more with hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Furthermore, they are not thinking about getting the highest grades or being better than their peers. They are interested in the gratification of pushing themselves to their growth capacity limits. Whether sports or music, painting or writing, They practice nonstop and are aware that they can boost their skills through practice and periodic failure. People with a growth mindset enjoy any opportunity to learn tricks from the best in a field. They reevaluate and discard methods used in the past and are critically thinking of how they can remove their flaws and weaknesses. In their relationships, they encourage their partners to learn and improve themselves. When they participate in sports, they play to serve the team. When they lead an organization, they respect their employees, are grateful for their work, and request their honest opinions. People with a growth mindset embrace problems and view them as challenges, not impossible obstacles. They put their energy into improving themselves and the world at large. People with a fixed mindset look for approval. Those with a growth mindset look for advancement. The fixed mindset sees failures as catastrophes. The growth mindset sees them as opportunities. People with a fixed mindset don't think they can learn from their errors. They see a single defeat as evidence that they will be failures forever. One loss negates and cheapens all previous successes. In order to maintain whatever little confidence they have, people with a fixed mindset justify lousy behavior, cheat, or lose interest in something. They don't ask for help or analyze their flaws, and they absolutely don't try to improve by practicing. They see themselves as a completed product, not a continual process. People with a fixed mindset stay clear of difficulties. Those with a growth mindset enjoy them. There are lots of things in life we can only attain with initiative. Yet when people with a fixed mindset find themselves in a tight spot, all they can see are dangers, since the more energy and time they invest in something, the fewer excuses they have to fail. They count on natural ability. Talented people should not need to try so hard. This thinking method makes it impossible for people with a fixed mindset to improve themselves without doubting their own talent to avoid challenging situations. They do not want to possibly humiliate themselves. If the late actor Christopher Reeve had such a mindset, he would have remained entirely paralyzed from the neck down for the remainder of his life, just as the doctors anticipated after his accident. However, he had a growth mindset. Rather than accepting that, he took control of his circumstances as his destiny. He went through an exhausting training program. After that, the impossible happened. Unlike all diagnoses, he gained mobility in his hands, then his legs, and ultimately his entire upper body. Difficulties give people with a growth mindset the chance to pursue purpose-filled activities. The more disheartened they are, the more energy they put into combating against their fate. Like Reeve, they make every effort to overcome the impossible. What factors identify whether an individual has a growth or a fixed mindset? What elements determine whether a person recognizes their potential or spends their life stagnant? Mindset begins at birth. Children enter the world with a growth mindset. They want to learn and grow as much as possible daily. The adults in a child's environment, typically their parents, play a massive role in identifying whether the child maintains this need to grow or at some point takes on a fixed mindset. Parents with a growth mindset inspire their kids and entice them to continue discovering. In contrast, those with a fixed mindset are continually evaluating their kids, telling them what is right or wrong, good or bad. Infants between the ages of 1 and 3 already act accordingly. Growth mindset babies will attempt to help another baby that is crying. Fixed mindset babies, by comparison, are frustrated by it. Teachers are also crucial role models and affect children's mindsets. Many educators believe that a student's performance is firm. Excellent students will continue to succeed, and weaker students will always get poor grades. As a result, vulnerable students will develop a fixed mindset. But great instructors, those that believe their students can learn anything, manage the situation differently. They show their students other ways of resolving math equations or comprehending Shakespeare. Their weaker students accept a growth mindset and start doing better in school. They are no longer destined to thinking about themselves as stupid by nature. Our mindset is not entirely predetermined. It can transform as early as childhood when we mimic the perspectives of our role models. Nobody needs to be a victim of their environment when establishing their own mindset. We can train the brain like any other muscle. If we want a growth mindset, we can teach ourselves to believe that way one day at a time. For example, you drop a plate of food on the floor. The first fixed thought might be, I'm so clumsy. But people who are aware of this reaction and want to transform it can force themselves to adopt a growth mindset by thinking, oh, well, this happens. I'll clean it up and be more careful next time. Working towards a growth mindset offers a terrific opportunity to connect to others for support, talk about our mistakes, and make actionable plans to attain our goals. It is essential to realize that a fixed mindset isn't easy to overcome. It shields us from failure, develops recognition in the eyes of our parents and partners, and improves our positive self-image. It comforts us time after time, so eliminating it can be incredibly unsettling. To be honest, it is not essential to give up a fixed mindset entirely. As long as we embrace the growth perspective in particular situations, it's usually enough. Even if a person thinks that they are a lost cause when it comes to sports, they can still be making remarkable progress at work. Adopting a growth mindset in any area enables us to overcome the seemingly impossible and to continue embracing our abilities. The growth mindset is one of the keys to self-fulfillment. Let's review. People with a fixed mindset block their own progress by relying on natural talent and their fear of failure. Conversely, people with a growth mindset work and train hard to eventually realize their long-term potential. By challenging our own ideas and attitudes, we can create a growth mindset. In what areas do you have a growth mindset? Are there some things you believe you just can't be taught? Comment below with your best advice. Please be sure to like and subscribe as well. And thank you so much for watching. While many successful people are born with talent, many of those with a fixed mindset never recover from failure. However, those with a growth mindset overcome obstacles such as these. Colonel Sanders didn't start KFC until the age of 62 with only a $105 check in hand. When he pitched his chicken recipe to restaurants, some 1,009 people rejected him. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because his editor felt he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. One of Stephen King's most successful books, Carrie, was rejected by 30 publishers. Even successful people don't have a smooth run and must adopt a growth mindset in order to overcome rejections and setbacks.